Today I want to put together my mood board, and I also want to show you kind of which references I'm working with, and then maybe in the end I'm going to just show you a compilation of all the different boards I have now for the overview of my project. And yeah, I mean, hopefully it will be like a calm time, and maybe you can get some ideas from my process, how you can prepare your own project, hopefully. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, so let's make a mood board together, and I'm essentially just gonna pass on some of the knowledge that I got in uni, or should I say, probably suggestions on how you can make a mood board. And what they told us to do first was to choose a feeling or that we wanted to communicate in these images and through textures and all these things. They also told us that this one thing shouldn't be like too general, which is really hard because how do you come up with like a one word or one sentence idea that's like not general and super abstract? So the way I think about the word thing is to choose a general word or sentence, but try to distill it in your own mind to what like it means to you. Personally, I'm working with chaos and restraint, and the references that I have chosen reflects that, hopefully. We got fire, which is something that can very much be controlled and reeled in, but not always. And then it's chaotic. An artist that I think captures this so well is Cy Twombly. And sorry, I'm not sure if I am pronouncing that name yet, but there's something about the brushstrokes and the pencil marks and everything just feels so intentional, but also so chaotic at the same time. It's just so confident and really what I'm looking for in my sculptures. And then I also included my own sketches. You can see you don't have to include a sketch in the mood board. I did it because I usually feel the most free when I'm sketching, when I know something is not going to turn into something that needs to be weighed or resold or whatever. So I am sort of using that for just a manifestation of freedom and looseness.
I think with this one, with chaos and restraint, I would like to use something organic that is growing wildly, maybe twigs or branches that have unusual shapes, if I can find them, and sort of frame this mood board. I think that would be a nice way to tie in texture and the feeling of something wild, but also the juxtaposition of having it frame, which is essentially restraining or containing the mood board. And I'm not done with the mood board. Like, this is my start. I know what I'm working with, the feeling that I'm working with. And as I find things and as the project goes along and I find things that inspire me, I can just add them. So that's my mood board. I want to also show you all the other prep work that I have done, so it all kind of ties together nicely. Next up are my sources. For anyone interested in how I prep myself. Like, the thing is, there is so many sources that you can use, and I just made an overview of my main ones. And the first one here is like background knowledge, sort of essentially technical knowledge, and I put Andy Ward's Ancient Pottery YouTube channel there. Shout out to you. An inspiration for my actual art, I used Klara Kristalova. She's one of my absolute favorite ceramic artist ever. I love everything about her work. It has so much depth, like it can make me smile, it has psychological depth, and it has this feeling of being loose. And I don't know, like, just look at this bear, how wonderful this is. And the thing is with me, like, this is such an important inspiration for me in this project, because if I were ever to make a masterpiece such as this bear, I know that I would keep detailing it and changing it and adjusting it until it loses this personality, because I don't really have the confidence in my own voice. So when I say she's a reference, obviously not like a direct like copying reference, but she's a reference in the feeling that I get from this work, and it really ties in everything that I want this project to be. They feel like there's humor, they feel like characters, and they feel free, and they have this looseness, and it's just absolutely wonderful. Here's another bigger picture of her work, but I don't know, I can't speak highly enough of her. I also put Tove Jansson, Mumintrollen, for anyone who is also a fan of them, as one of my inspiration sources. It's a little bit different, but you still see like you have all these like different characters, and you have this mystic place, and there's a lot of things going on, and I do feel like you have a little bit of that like movement and chaos, while obviously also having some restraint in that. And I love the community here. I actually have, for the series that I'm planning to sculpt, I have like a final scene. I see it almost like a book, and that's another reason why I chose this as a reference, because the sculpting series that I'm making, I see it as like almost like a sculpture novel where you go through different stages, and it ends with a communal sort of dinner, I guess, like food by the campfire, and there's a group of all these like different animals and characters. So when I saw this, I'm like, yeah. But also just generally, she's a great inspiration for me, so I wanted to keep that as a main inspiration as well. Next in my sources, I do try to read something also, because reading like scratches another part of my brain. I have been wanting to bring in, I don't know, like not activism directly in my work, but I do want to feel like, how can I say something that is meaningful? How can I comment? How can I contextualize and understand my own work and my own desires? And it is very important for me to make something that feels meaningful, not only because it is an escapism for me and because I love creating, but also something that, I don't know, adds to a conversation. And I read the part 1 of this already, and it talks a lot about like being the change you want to see in the world. I love the idea of like those small acts of standing up for justice and what you believe in, and I would like that to extend to my art. So I've started reading this, and I plan to continuing it. I really am enjoying it so far. And as the last one, I put methods here again. This one of Tani's workshop, amazing artist. I just put it here because in a lot of his exhibitions, I've noticed that he has a lot of forage materials like leaves and branches and rocks and sand and all this stuff. And obviously I'm a massive forager, so I wanted to include that. Here's some mushrooms, fire. Here's actually this little sculpture right here, which is one that I fired on my grill. So this part of the inspiration has to do with the technique, the methods of firing, and that I am also learning from Andy Ward, but a lot of that has to do with my own experimentation. I already have some ideas. For example, I want to try to like fire a porcelain sculpture and get just the smoke effects, open fire, and then add underglaze and then fire it in Sagar and see like what kind of, I think that could create something really interesting rather than like burning off the underglazes and giving me a little bit more control while also allowing the fire to do its own chaotic thing where I don't have control. And again, like working with that like chaos restraint. Just some more pictures that like of sources, fire that I couldn't fix. Some more of a side tumbly that didn't fit on the mood board. Then some of you have seen this. It's like my board where I plan to put up recipes of all like all the different like things I put in the Sagar, or what I add to the fire, like things that have concretely to do just with the firing methods, and the drawings are just my little my little testers. The testers might end up looking a little bit different, but I'm just like for example, I made the mushroom bear and I put down all the things that I put in a Sagar. He's about to be fired very soon now that I'm back on track and I'm done with all my prep work. But I am going to add one recipe here, which is a very simple recipe. Just give me a second. And finally, this is, you know, it kind of seems ironic maybe. I have my animal like picture board here, and then I have my sketch and my sculpting plan for my fox. And I feel like it might seem like it's like a contradiction there to want to do something really loose and free, but yet still like make a sculpting plan and have all these references. They are not for me to copy exactly. Usually I do divert from my plans. It's more that I feel like if I externalize those ideas, I can actually focus more on the feeling and I don't have to think about it. And the same way, like I study the fox, I like sort of absorb like what are the most like important features. Like for example, these ears here. Well, you can see here in the back, I have a little fox test sculpture that I made in porcelain, and I realized afterwards that like the ears are such a key feature, and even though I'm like planning to do something loose, like what am I attracted to here? I love the little roughness around the face, and I love the ears and all the fur. So it just like keeps me tuned to what I'm making. I am not only making a fox, I'm also making a bear, a bunny, like all these kind of critters in their creature shape, but it helps me keep things externalized. So I got this, and I got my sculpting plan, and I think we are finally ready to go. So nice, I am finally done with all my prep work. It's gonna be an ongoing thing. Like I mentioned in the video, I will probably be adding to the mood board as I go, and of course to my recipes as I fire things. But just like having all the thoughts up here on a paper, even if I don't end up like following the plans precisely, which I probably will not, just having externalized everything feels really, really good. I'm gonna head into the studio now and work for a few hours, and when I come back I'm probably gonna be cleaning up a little bit so I clear the space for my mind and my soul to sculpt. I folded a whole sculpting day tomorrow and Saturday just for sculpting, and I can't wait to have this time for myself. I hope you found this valuable or inspirational or anything. Do let me know in the comments.